Welcome back to another Rational Wrestling Talk. This is the Rational Wrestling Mark, and we're going to be talking about WWE Hall of Famer Tammy Sytch, aka Sunny, pleads no contest in fatal DUI crash, and she faces 25 years in prison. Now, it's no secret that Sunny, Tammy Sytch, has been caught in some crimes in the past decade. It's no secret that herself into a lot of trouble, and she's been in trouble with the law, and she's done her times. She's done her time plenty of times, right? And this woman, no matter what she does, she just finds herself in a lot of trouble. And it's really a shame from the fall of grace that she's had. She went from sunny to unfortunately cloudy. And in this recent, piece of news, she's now facing 25 to life. And she was recently just charged. And it says that Tammy Sytch pleaded no contest Wednesday to a charge of driving under the influence and causing the death of another person, plus other charges in a fatal crash, and could face up to 25 and a half years in prison when she is sentenced November 27th. And yeah, this woman has put some lives in danger and cost somebody their life because of while drinking and driving. And it's very irresponsible. No one should be drinking and driving at the same time. No one should be texting while driving at the same time. Because when you're on that road, you're driving, you are not only responsible for your own life, but you are also responsible for other people's lives too. That involves people in your car, right? You're responsible for their life too. And she's currently 50 years old. She had entered a plea of not guilty on May 31st, 2022 to the same charges stemming from a deadly traffic crash in Ormond Beach. She changed that plea Wednesday as a part of an agreement with prosecutors. Now, her not pleading guilty is her not taking accountability for what she has done. And more likely did not want to face any time, but she knows she did the crime. So you got to do the time. But this woman has a history of getting herself in trouble with the law, drinking and driving, causing a whole bunch of mess. And it goes on to say, Ormond Beach police said on March 25th, 2022, that Sytch's vehicle had crashed into the back of a stopped car at the intersection of US 1 and Granada Boulevard, leading to the death of Julian LaFrancis Leicester. He was 75. And she had been held without bond on pretrial detention at the Volusia County Branch Jail since May 13th of last year. And she's wearing, the customary orange jail jumpsuits was led into court and took a seat of the defense table. Her hands were cuffed, as is also routine during inmates' court appearances. Um, it's reported that Tammy Sytch smiled several times as she spoke to her attorneys before the start of the hearing. And when her name was called, she stood with her lawyers in front of Circuit Judge Karen Foxman, who asked what her plea was. Sytch said no contest. The judge asked a number of routine questions as part of the plea hearing. In response, she said she had almost graduated from college. Whatever that's supposed to mean. In response to another question, Sytch said she had been diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder, borderline personality disorder, and bipolar disorder. She said among the medications she was taking was Prozac, an antidepressant. Now, listen, I understand that people have their issues, their personal issues in terms of, you know, what their disorder is or what medical condition that they have or they're diagnosed with. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You are responsible for another person's death, right? You chose to enter your vehicle while being under the influence, right? And become reckless on the road. You know, because police found an unsealed bottle of vodka in her car, right? There was a test that was done. It detected that there was THC in her blood, indicating that she had been using marijuana sometime before the crash, right? According to Florida Department of Law Enforcement. So, in addition to DUI causing death, Tammy Sytch was charged with one count of driving with a suspended, revoked license causing death/serious injury. The first charge is a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years in prison, while the suspended driving charge is a third-degree felony punishable by up to 5 years in prison. So that would mean up to 20 years in prison. Right? Which, that's a long time to be doing some time. That's a long time of prison. Right? She's going to be doing a lot of years, man. And that would mean up to 20 years in prison, like I said. But Assistant State Attorney Ashley, I'm not going to even bother with that last name because I can barely pronounce it. Ashley something said during the hearing that she would be arguing that new case law sets a maximum prison sentence of just over 10 years on the second-degree felony, which would make the possible maximum total penalty just over 25 years. She was also charged with 4 counts of DUI with damage to person and 2 counts of DUI with damage to property. Each of the 6 counts is a first-degree misdemeanor punishable by up to 364 days in the county jail. As part of the agreement, Sytch would be sentenced to time served on those 6 counts, and the sentences would run concurrently. So this woman is definitely in a lot of hot water, man. She's doing a lot of time. At this point, there's no such thing as her getting better. I think there's been a lot of times, a lot of occurrences where she has tried to get better, and she just would probably relapse or probably fall back into uh, you know, alcohol addiction or whatever, marijuana addiction, and just, I don't know, man. It just seems whatever she does, she gets herself into trouble, and trouble seems to find her. But, you know, this woman is in her 50s, you know. By the time she gets out, she'll probably be about 75, 76. And who knows if she's going to be living by that time, right? You know, she's also, you know, had multiple prior charges of driving under the influence in the past, right? Driving with a suspended license in Pennsylvania. And, you know, she never had a valid driver's license in Florida. So, you know, it's pretty stupid to drive with a suspended license, right? And that's something you don't want to do, because, you know, law enforcement, they take that pretty damn seriously, man. Doesn't matter what state you're in, you know, they catch you driving with suspended license, you're going to be doing some time, it seems like. So that's pretty much it. Like, it's sad to see someone that was in that spotlight for so long fall from grace. So, you know, and she fell so hard, right? She hit rock bottom pretty damn hard, you know. And then she had been in the Hall of Fame, inducted in the Hall of Fame in 2011. And I feel like from that point on, her life has took a turn for the worse. And, you know, there's just, at this point, there's probably no coming back from this. And there's no return. I mean, at this point, I think she's done. And, you know, it's just unfortunate, you know, that some of these wrestlers were once so popular in the spotlight, you know, they're so hot, you know, now their life has, you know, taken a traumatic hit. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think of Tammy Sytch, aka Sunny, facing 25 years to life. You know, that's a long time, no matter how you spin it. You know, she had a blood alcohol content of, you know, 0.280, you know, which is 3.5 times the legal limit of, you know, 0.08, you know, by the Florida law. So this is not the first time that she has caught herself in trouble, and definitely not the first time her being in the news. You know, she's had several offenses in the past, and this is her latest one. Probably her most, probably the worst one out of all of them, and the most punishable one at that. So that being said, this is Irrational Wrestling Mark. Thank you all for watching. Like the video, and I'm out. Peace.